Hey, what's going on everybody? Justin here, and in this video I just want to kind of touch base with everyone and go over my currently reading pile because it's getting a little out of hand. I have 7 titles that are like roughly around halfway finished each. Some are a little bit less, some are a little bit more, but yeah, it's starting to get a little wonky. Usually I only have 2 or 3 going. But let's just go ahead and get started. So for Historathon Quarter 2, which is all about like, the years 500 to 1500, kind of like the medieval period and stuff, I figured I'd finally get to Living by the Sword, Weapons and Material Culture in France and Britain, 600 to 1600 by Kristen Neuschel. And I'm afraid this might be one I might actually DNF. I'm about like a third of the way through the book, but to be honest, it just reads like a PhD thesis or something that's kind of like reformatted a bit into like book format, and it's just, I don't know, there's just like, for me to not like a book on swords, I'm thinking like how dry and how boring does it have to be, unfortunately. Like there's just a lot of lists, like inventory kind of stuff, and it's all just sort of like vague, abstract notions of like, the material culture, like, what did like swords mean to different parts of society, like over time and stuff. And it's sort of repetitive in that sense as well. I don't know, just something's not working for me, and it's just a shame. It's like I said, it's just a book on swords, and I thought it was going to be really great, but I'll probably read another like 5 pages, and I'm actually going to tell myself it's okay to DNF a book at this point in my life. And next up, we got a couple of philosophy reads that I'm reading, partly for the philosophy Discord that I'm doing. The first one here is we have the Defense of Socrates, which also includes the Euthyphro and the Crito, and then we're also doing the Meno as well this month. I'll leave a link down below if you're interested in philosophy and just talking about philosophical stuff with like other people, and asking for like recommendations and everything. Just kind of a fun Discord server that we got going over there. But anyways, I'm taking my time with them. I'm actually taking like a little bit of notes. Geez, I should actually go get my notebook. Hold on, I'll be right back. Alright, so I've already shared like some of my notes and stuff, like on the Discord and everything. So like I've done a deep dive of like Euthyphro. I'm almost done Crito, and things like that. But so even though they're not that long, I think Euthyphro's like, on my edition's like 25 pages, Crito's like 18 or 19, something like that. And I think the Defense is like 30. So, I think all 5 dialogues combined is only going to be like, what I mean? It's like the size of like, just a short book. But yeah, I've just been having a lot of fun with that and just taking my time. And similarly, when I was on a trip, I needed some reading material when I was in the hotel in the evening. And at the like local bookstore, I just came across this book called Think by Sven Brinkmann. And he's like a Danish psychologist, philosopher, I guess. But honestly, it was just like, I just kind of went to like the philosophy section and everything, and this one that just stood out to me, partly because of the cover. I just really like the minimalist design there and everything. And I'm doing like another, like a really slow read, taking notes on it and everything. And it's all about the whole idea of like being thoughtful, and actually, when we're using the word, I think X, Y, or Z or whatever, are we actually thinking X, Y, or Z, or are we just like spouting like just like any kind of like opinion that pops into our head and stuff, things like that. So it's all about kind of like slowing down and recognizing there's different kind of modes of thought, and how good it is to not like have like different uses for different kinds of thinking and stuff. So I've been really enjoying it, and like I said, this is also, even though this is only like I think 150 pages or something, like I'm just doing like a little mini deep dive and like taking my time with that one as well. Next up, I got 2 books I mentioned in my like kind of a Greek recommendation sort of video, and for the the Olympics that are coming up in the next couple of weeks here, I'm reading 2 books. So the first one is The Crown Games of Ancient Greece, Archaeology, Athletes, and Heroes. This one is by David Lunt, and the other one is The First Physical Culturist, the Ancient Greeks, athletics, training, and competition. And there are essentially 2 sides of the same coin, so it's really interesting. They complement each other really well. I'm essentially just kind of like reading one chapter in one, then reading the next one, and the other one. It doesn't always like line up perfectly and stuff, but I've been having a lot of fun with it. The first book, Lunt's book, is dealing with sort of the big overview picture of what did the games like actually mean to the Greeks. What is like the concept of like of athletics, of an athletic hero, a competitor at the games. What did it actually mean to win? And there's ton of archaeology in that one. Just going to all 4 of the sites going through like what buildings have been uncovered, what can we learn about different things through the material remains that we've been able to dig up and stuff like that. So that's been a lot of fun. And the second book, John, Dowlatt's book, the first physical culturist. This one is more about the kind of zooming in and more on like the nitty gritty of like individuals, you know, how, like, what were the actual competitive events that they were participating in? How did they actually go about, you know, for example, like I really enjoyed the section on the pentathlon. You know, there's like a lot of debate as to how you determine the winner there. Like, how do people advance to the next stage, or does everyone do all 5 stages? That kind of stuff between the stadion foot race, the javelin throw, the discus throw, the long jump. You know, how was the long jump actually performed? Things like that. And then the wrestling. So it was actually kind of cool, like learning the different like theories on how the ancient Greeks probably approached, you know, this kind of like 5-game setup to like crown a like overall victor and stuff. And then I think the next couple of chapters are going to be dealing with specifically how different Greeks trained for different kinds of events. You know, because you have sort of the heavy events, which are like wrestling and boxing, and the pankration, which is essentially like kind of like MMA and stuff. Then you had like kind of the racing events, and then you had like the pentathletes kind of in the middle, and how their different training approaches went and everything. So it's just like been a lot of fun kind of combining the 2 books and getting like just a really cool picture of the ancient Greek Olympics. All right, then we got like a nature book here. So we got The Nature of Our Cities, Harnessing the Power of the Natural World to Survive a Changing Planet by Nadina Yale. And this was sent to me by Mariner, and I'm about, I'd say probably 3/4 done this one. But it's been really interesting to learn about different technologies that different cities and counties are starting to use for, just for example, like fires, wildfires, you know, especially out in the western United States, but other cities around the world as well. Just kind of different things to sort of out in remote areas to detect them a lot faster, just because like kind of those first few hours are really crucial into kind of limiting the scope of the fire, if you can, you know, get there and actually know about it and have an appropriate response and everything. But different like machines and stuff and like robots, they're like kind of testing out just to like try to clear out different brush, and then what situations you want to clear out brush and everything like that. Obviously other things are talked about. Flooding is a big one in a lot of places, you know, things like that. So just been learning a lot, because it's totally the opposite of like where I am, where, like I said, like there's not a major city for like a 5 day. I think the nearest major city, I'd either have to go into Canada and still do like a 3 or 4 hour drive, or, you know, I don't know, like a 5 or 6 hour drive if I still stay in the United States, just at like, you know, an actual like urban zone and stuff. So it's been a lot of fun just kind of learning about like how other, I guess, like I said, I've lived in the city, but I was like, you know, when I was a lot younger, it just wasn't really the same. I didn't pay attention to that sort of stuff. And then lastly, I have a monster book here that I'm doing as a group read for Q3 of Historathon with a bunch of other cool people over there on the Discord server. And it's The Enlightenment, The Pursuit of Happiness, 1680 to 1790 by Richie Robertson. And as you can see, this thing, you could probably train for the ancient Olympics here with this this book and stuff. It's a pretty good melee weapon. I think it's like 800 something pages of text, and then like another 200 pages of like end matter. So overall, yeah, 984 pages if you include the notes and the index and everything. But I've been learning a lot. I'm kind of glad. I was contemplating do I take notes over this one and stuff, but I think it would honestly just slow me down so much. It just almost wouldn't be worth it to like take notes. Like the notes in here are like 100 pages long, just like listing the different source material and footnotes and everything like that. But it's all about sort of kind of just the concept and the social changes that were occurring over the majority of the 1700s. Those like 3 or 4 generations, you know, mostly like the age of Voltaire and stuff. The big takeaway that I've taken so far is I need to look into Denis Diderot a lot more. I've learned about him from like other stuff. He's most famous for like kind of being like kind of the I guess the lead compiler of the Encyclopédie like Naturale or something like that. This really giant monumental encyclopedia work during this time period. But he had actually tons of like other opinions, other works, other friendships and everything with like all kinds of people like during the Enlightenment age and stuff that I guess I just, you know, for whatever reason, I just had him only pinned down as like the editor of the encyclopedia and stuff. So it's just really fun learning a lot about lots of, I guess, different figures that I have not, either if I've only heard, I might only know the name and getting kind of a more fleshed out picture, and then plenty of names that I've never even like heard of before. So it's always fun, like I said, just like filling in tons of gaps in my knowledge. So yeah, this is gonna be like kind of a slow burn with everyone. Like I said, it's just an 800 whatever page just monster, but I feel like it's definitely like fulfilling and like worth the time and effort that's gone into it so far. So there you have it. Those are the 7 books that I'm like currently got strewn around the house, like on the table, on the nightstand, sometimes like on the couch and stuff. I feel like I do need to just buckle down and just like take like a tactical approach and knock a few of them like out of the park, I guess, just to kind of get the pile down. So let me know, how many books do you ever have going at the same time? This is pretty much the most I think I've ever had. Like it's like 7 or 8. This is usually, like I said, I try to keep it around like 3. Usually I have like a history one, a nature one, and then like an audiobook usually or something. But yeah, this, like I said, I don't know what's going on. I'm just like not finishing books like the past like month or two. I'm just starting more and more. But anyways, like I said, let me know how many you do at once, and whether you're reading one or more, always remember, read victoriously.